Hi,
Hello, Namit. How are you?
very good. Tell me, please,
Yes,
fire away.
yes. The series is getting a mixed response from the audience. Some are saying it as positive, some are saying negative comments also. So, how do you, as a team, are taking it?
I mean, the comments are really not in our hands, actually.
Right,
And it's what gives me most happiness is the fact that, it's there for the audience now. And we worked so hard last year, since last year, actually. And we had been waiting to share it with people. I also feel that this series is is an adaptation. So I think it's it's something which is going to live with the times for with us, and
right,
that's what I think. Any kind of work, any kind of literary work, speaks for itself even after ages. And I think Suitable Boy is going to be one of those pieces.
right,
Uh, where people will go back to it and still feel that they'll come back to it, and then they'll say it's relevant now, and people will argue about it in the sense, whether the book was better or whether the series was better.
right,
But what really makes us happy is the fact that it's generating a response,
right.
and that in itself, I think, is a huge victory in the times we live in, where there is so much content on so many platforms.
Right.
So it's definitely not going to be missed, because it's trending number one on
Netflix.
Netflix at the moment, and
Yes,
has been trending for the last whole week, which is
yes,
quite big, which is
yes.
really big.
Exactly. But your character is getting all the positive response, Mr. Harish Khanna. So, what is the most positive or heartwarming thing that you have received from the audience or from somebody special?
Divya, there have been so many responses, and every day, every hour, as we speak, there are so many responses pouring in my message box on Instagram or on Facebook,
Right,
because people have really connected to the innocence of this character
right,
and the truth of this character, and because it's somewhere based on a character in say in it's the heart of it is in literature.
right.
Many people are actually writing long letters to me,
Wow.
uh, saying how they were moved by this, and that really, that kind of a response really, it's really overwhelming. It makes me humble. It makes me very happy as well, I have to say.
Right.
But happy to a point where I think sometimes I get overwhelmed, and I almost, like, I tear up looking at and reading some of the responses.
Wow.
And um, and yeah, people are really, really kind. People have been really kind to Harish Khanna.
That's nice to know, Namit. What is, the pre-production of the show like? Guide us through the whole process. What was it like from the day you joined the team until the day it released?
Well, if you talk about the whole process, I mean,
Yes.
the whole process was a really long one. It's and a very tedious one, because recce's went on for a year. They were finalizing locations. They were canceling it also at the same time. But
Right.
eventually, I think uh, the the design team settled on Lucknow as being the center
Right.
of where we would be placed, and then we would be going around and shooting around Lucknow and Kanpur. Uh, when I joined the team, I knew that this is going to be something really big, something really, really
Right.
special, that I am going to be part of. And it's really a privilege
Yes.
to be part of a setup which is first of all headed by Mira Nair. It was being produced by BBC, and Netflix wasn't in the picture that time, but it was specifically being produced for BBC London. Uh, and then the actors.
Right.
You were going to be part of a cast which would host names like Ishan Khattar, Tabu, Ram Kapoor, Rasika Dugal, Vijay Verma.
Right. Vijay Raz.
Manoj Pava, Vinay Pathak, Ranveer Shori, Vijay Ras. I mean, you name it.
Yes. Yes.
All of all of the best, the
Right.
creme de la creme
Right.
of uh, of uh,
The industry,
of
Bollywood.
Bombay, of
Yes.
the industry, of the Bombay film industry,
Yes.
uh, is going to be there in this project. So when I remember when I went into that room for my first read,
Right.
it was a very heavy sort of air which you were breathing, because you had the who's who of Bombay
Right.
sitting there, and uh, and then obviously newcomer Tanya Maniktala, who's actually, I shouldn't be calling her a newcomer because she's just so beautiful and she's just so good at
Right.
what she does.
Right.
And the other suitors, Danish Rizvi, Mikhail, all of them, coming from
Mm.
theater backgrounds, and the process was itself going to be so beautiful. And then when we got into it,
Mm.
then I have to say that Mira has this special ability of choosing the right people, the right actors for her characters.
Mm.
And because she just gives so much love to her actors become the characters that she wants them to become.
Yes.
And that's her process, and that's sort of so beautifully, it's just beautifully done, because you need to experience that.
Right.
And Mira is just being part of an ensemble which has been set up by Mira.
Mm.
You're part of her. You're part of you're part of a piece of art,
Right.
literally,
Right. Yes.
where you're placed so beautifully, and she sees the beauty in everything that she
Mm.
shoots,
Mm.
from her actors to the to the design that she has in mind, and which she finally is able to achieve. Everything is just so beautiful.
Yes.
And um, and that's the process, because everything is very tender, everything is very sensitive,
Yes. It is
and
visible in the show.
also
It
at the
is.
same, clearly.
Yes.
And also what is most important is you have to bring your A game to on the table.
Right.
You are going to come on set, you're going to work very hard, you're going to give five different versions of a scene to her during the shooting, and you're going to be slightly tired after the end,
Yes.
during but you would have learned a lot,
Right.
because she would, each time I would finish a sequence, and each time I would sort of give her a version of something, she would come up and say, she would throw new things at me, and she would be like, okay, why don't you see it this way, why don't
Mm.
you see it this way? And as I always say, you're you're totally utilized.
Right.
You're totally used when you're working with Mira. And from the smallest of characters
Right.
that are there in the frame, everyone is told to be specific, and that is obviously visible in the show as well.
So, Namit, what are,
And
yes, yes, please go on. Yes.
no, I just wanted to actually sum it up there, that
Okay.
these are the little things that you sort of live by when you are going through a Mira Nair process.
Right. So, for summing it up only in the next question, how would you differentiate Mira Nair from the rest of the directors that you worked with, or the other directors of the industry? How her work makes the difference?
Absolutely. She is a legend.
Right.
Let's
Yes.
let's
Yes.
start there.
Yes.
And she's not legend just because she's a legend. She's been doing this for a very long time. Salam
Right.
Bombay released in the late 80s, and
Right.
from there onwards began the journey of this legendary filmmaker.
Yes. Name saying
And here
Monsoon
she
Wedding.
is. Absolutely, I don't even need to take the names of all
Right.
the films and stories that she's produced.
Right.
And here she is in 2020, directing a web show,
Right.
directing a television show
Right.
uh, for uh, for the world, for the globe to see. The fact that the fact that she's been able to do this for such a long time, if I were to compare her to the other directors that I have worked with, although I don't like to get into comparisons per se, because everyone has their own style, everyone has their own way of communicating with actors. But for the sake of your question, I mean, I would just say that I think she has something very specific for each actor, and she has a specific relationship with each actor that she casts.
Right.
And when she's directing the scene, she will say the right thing at the right moment to the right actor,
Right.
which will have the right effect, which will push him in the right direction.
Right.
I mean, that's how specific she is, and that's a gift, and that's why she's Mira Nair.
Right. I'm a huge Mira Nair fan myself. You know, last year I just went on to binge watch all her movies after the announcement of A Suitable Boy. So, so that's kind of love I have for her. And so now coming back to the show, if you were Lata in the show, who would you have chosen? You know, from would it be Kabir, Harish, or Amit?
When I read the book and I finished it in 2015, I felt a bit cheated. I'll be very frank, because even in the book, she goes on to marry Harish Khanna.
Yeah.
It was only after I went through this whole process where Mira told me that, and I got to meet Vikram himself,
Mm.
and Aradhana, who is Vikram's sister, and I got to know from them that Harish Khanna is actually modeled after Vikram's father,
Oh,
Premo.
okay.
And that's when I got to know the reasons why, the deeper reasons to why Harish Khanna is modeled after Vikram's father. And it's their love story, which is made into this elaborate novel, A Suitable Boy.
Right. So now you have said
But sorry to cut you. But
it.
having said that, I have to say that I felt a bit cheated because I'm a romantic at heart, and this kind of practicality somehow doesn't appeal to my heart, and
Right.
doesn't appeal to my senses also.
Right.
And while I was reaching the end, I was just hoping that she would get married to Kabir. Actually,
Yeah, we
I
too.
did. I did hope that.
But if I would have been at Lata's place, I would have chosen Harish only because it was the safest choice, I think.
Well, you said it, Divya, and I don't need to say anything more because if a girl says it, then it makes more sense.
Yes. You know, I also got to know about Monsoon Wedding Musical is also coming up next year. Will it be a theatrical release or it will be hitting the silver screen?
Well, I think it will be a theatrical release because this is the musical version
Right.
of the play,
Right. And the
and we've been doing. Yes,
yes,
what do you say?
yes, and the story that was of 2001 movie only. The story is the same.
The story is the same. The
Okay.
story is the same, but this is in its musical avatar, and we've been performing it for some time now.
Okay.
I have been associated with it for 5 years, and Mira has been working on it for some, I think, 10, 12 years. Vishal Bharadwaj has given the music for it.
Yes.
And we've been waiting for it to come to India because we have had one season in San Francisco, Berkeley in 2018. We were supposed to have a season in England in 2020 this year, but that got cancelled
Right.
unfortunately because of this global calamity, this COVID situation, whatever you call it, because the theaters aren't open anywhere in the world right now.
Right.
So now we are waiting for 2021 to hit us and this COVID situation to obviously change so that we have live performances happening. And as soon as that happens, as soon as that starts, we'll have the Monsoon Wedding Musical coming to India, and it'll do its round of shows all over India, and I think people will really like it because with the music, I think the tonality of the piece changes completely. I played Dubey in it, the tent
Okay.
contractor, which was played
Oh,
famously by
Vijayaras. Yes.
Vijaras. Yes,
Yes.
I play that character, and that part has been adapted very beautifully in the musical version. It's one of the leads, it's one of the primaries, it's one of the most important love stories.
Right.
Dubey and Alice's love story, I think, is very, very important and
Yes.
has some beautiful songs composed by Vishalji. Uh, and there'll be live music. It has to be live music with live musicians,
Yes.
which is going to be, I think, the exciting part about this piece.
So who's playing
And
your
we're just
Alice?
waiting for.
Who's playing your
I
Alice?
think
Yes, yes.
w- uh, uh, when we were in America, when we were doing a version of this in San Francisco, uh, uh, Anisha Nagarajan, Broadway actress, was playing that part. But
Oh,
I think a new actress would be cast when we come to India. I don't know. I don't know. I
okay.
really don't know. Maybe Anisha comes down.
Okay, chalo,
I,
we'll wait for that.
even I wait for it.
Yes. So I was also looking at your YouTube channel, and I got to know that you have a keen interest in music. So I would want to you to sing "Fir Le Aaya Dil" again here for our audience.
That's so sweet, Divya. Yeah, music is something very important for me because I think music is me. Because of my lineage and because of my father, because of my uncle, because of everyone.
Right.
And 1 year back, I bought this lovely piano, and I keep playing it. And because of Instagram and because of Facebook now, I keep putting up these videos, and people have been responding very sweetly to it also.
Right.
So anyway,
So yes,
so I because you said फिर ले
"Fir
आया,
Le
so I'll
Aaya
just
Dil."
sing some two lines for you. Hmm.
Yes.
फिर ले आया दिल मजबूर क्या कीजे फिर ले आया दिल मजबूर क्या कीजे रास ना आया रहना दूर क्या कीजे दिल कह रहा है उसे मुकम्मल कर भी आओ वो जो अधूरी सी बात बाकी है वो जो अधूरी सी याद बाकी है वो जो अधूरी सी याद बाकी है फिर ले आया.
Wow, I literally had goosebumps over my skin here. Uh, so, Namit, are you trained professionally, like classically or something, or you just sing it by passion?
Well, it's a bit of both. I have not been doing my riyaz for a long time now. For the last 6 months, I've
Okay.
not been regular. But I come from a musical family.
Right.
So music was introduced to me at a very young age. In fact, at an age that I don't even remember.
Oh,
My father is Chandan Das, a famous ghazal singer, and he still does that actually. That's the only thing that he has done all his life. And my mom comes from the gharanas, and I learned from my uncle Bhavdeep Jaipurwale, from the Jaipur gharana. So I have learned some
yes.
music, and in fact, like in an ideal world, if things had gone my way and circumstances were sort of in my control,
Right.
I would have been a singer and just a classical singer. North Indian classical is what I would have wanted to sing.
Right.
Uh, but life had other plans, obviously, and I don't regret it one bit because what I do, I'm very proud of it. Acting is also, I think, it's really, it's very satisfying. It's really soul satisfying. But music, I think, might be more sort of, closer to my soul somewhere.
It's also in
But
your genes.
well, yeah, people say that. I don't know. I haven't seen my genes. But I experience it uh, every day. I think music, and that's the only thing that I can sort of express in.
Oh,
So, but I think life is long. I don't
yes.
think I'm. I've also been given the credit for additional composer for Suitable Boy because some of the tunes I have
Wow.
composed in it.
Wow.
So music is also something which I haven't completely forgotten. It keeps
Wow.
showing up in my life time and again. I do this play in Bombay, and it has done many shows. It's a very successful play, Stories in a Song, where I sing and uh, where I play different parts. It has been a play which has been running for almost 9 years now.
Okay.
So that brought music back into my life. Otherwise, I was only acting. I was only uh, after college. I literally gave up music, but it was because of theater that music came back into my life. And then Monsoon Wedding Musical happened, where I sing, where I actually sing.
Wow.
So music is वो कहते हैं ना कि मतलब मैं दो नाव में पैर रख के चलना नहीं चाहिए, लेकिन मैं
Hmm.
हमेशा
Hmm.
दो नाव में पैर रख के कहीं ना कहीं चल रहा हूँ, and I'm very happy about it. Both these boats are really keeping me very keeping my soul satisfied.
पर ऐसे बहुत एक्टर्स हैं, जैसे किशोर कुमार थे, मैं आपका कंपैरिजन किशोर कुमार से अब कह रही हूँ कि एक्टिंग भी और म्यूजिक भी साथ साथ चले हैं, तो एक एक किशोर दा का गाना भी हो जाए।
वाह! किशोर कुमार मेरे मतलब दिव्या मतलब मैं तो मेरे मैं उनको आई एस्पायर टू बी किशोर कुमार एक्चुअली. I used to read books about him. I used to read his incidents and the eccentric artist that he was. And I'm a huge fan of Kishore Kumar.
मी टू।
I think I've seen almost all his films, and I really love his acting as well. He's so funny, and he's slapstick, but he's so funny. There's one song of his that I really like is one from Padosan. Uh, कहना है कहना है कहना है कहना है आज तुमसे ये पहली बार हो तुम ही तो लाई हो जीवन में मेरे प्यार 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 कहना है कहना है कहना है कहना है आज तुमसे ये पहली बार हो तुम ही तो लाई हो जीवन में मेरे प्यार 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 and something like that.
Yeah, it hits. Kishore Kumar hits. Whosoever sings it, but it hits, and
Really,
you
really.
you
And
sang
Divya,
it so
the
beautifully.
next.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Divya. The next film that I finished,
Hmm.
I finished it in September.
Hmm.
Uh, the film's name is Afate Ishq.
Okay.
In that, I play a character which has been completely inspired by Kishore Kumar.
Wow.
Just to give you a little sort of
Yes. Yes.
hint as to
I,
what's on its way.
wow.
It has Neha Sharma, Deepak Dobriyal, and Amit Sial
Wow.
in it. Hosts a very good cast. But
Hmm.
I think I'm in love with my character because it's inspired by Kishore Kumar.
Okay, so tell me now when it will be releasing.
It'll be releasing hopefully in December, like
Okay.
end of December or Jan,
Oh,
beginning of next year. I think that's the
timeline of.
zone that
Okay.
timeline that they are looking at. Yeah,
Oh.
it's for
So
Z5.
So I'll wait for it for sure. And all the best, Namit, for all the future projects that you are working on for Monsoon Wedding Musical, for this film, and for A Suitable Boy also that is also running. Yeah. So and Arya, I forgot to say about Arya. So all the best for.
It's been an eventful year. It's been an
Yeah,
eventful
yeah,
year for me,
yeah.
really.
So many actors are, tensed about the year that they did not have a single release throughout. But you are rolling on
Yeah,
such a good ride, you know, Arya, Suitable Boy. Then this film is also coming, so it's a good year, I say, for you.
touch wood. It's a good year.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So it was lovely speaking to you, Namit.
Same here, Divya.
Yes, thank you for taking all my requests for the music thing.
Not at all, not at all. My pleasure.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you, Namit.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye, Namit.